The black clouds press down on the city, ready to destroy it, and the armor shines towards the golden scales of the sun. A terrifying crack appeared in the void, and the entire continent seemed to have something added. Many powerful individuals were sensing it. It is rumored that on the day when cracks appeared in the void, the 5 figures of the 5 realms left with them. From then on, Emperor Yan Xiao Yan disappeared without a trace. Xiao Mo. You are indeed the first genius of my Xiao clan in the past century. 100 years later, the vitality of the origin revived, and many strong individuals rose one after another. The first day of the Xiao clan stirred up the turmoil of the mainland again. Chapter 1 After 100 Years. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. It is rumored that after breaking through the Dou Emperor, Emperor Yan Xiao Yan had a life and death battle with the Soul clan who wanted to devour everything. The battle between the two sides was earth-shattering, and many powerful figures on the mainland were implicated and killed. Emperor Yan Xiao Yan even ordered all the strange fires in the world to defeat them at a critical moment. Xiao Clan Commendation Hall. A middle-aged man with a white beard is giving a lecture in front of a young statue. The stories he just told are all stories that have been passed down in the world, used to attract the enthusiasm of the disciples in the clan to learn. Elder. May I ask where the Yan Emperor you mentioned is now? Who are the people of the Soul clan who were defeated by it? All the strange fires in the world obey his commands. Can we still see strange fires in the future? As expected, the story of Emperor Yan Xiao Yan caught everyone's attention, and everyone began to express their doubts. The elders who were teaching did not expect such a situation, and they felt even more overwhelmed when faced with the questions. Silence. Since everyone is so curious about the story of Emperor Yan, then study and practice hard. After your coming-of-age ceremony, you will have the opportunity to explore the outside world. After all, the elder has been teaching for many years, and with a sudden inspiration, he left the problem to everyone himself, inspiring everyone to work hard to learn and cultivate, truly being a cunning old man. In the corner of the seat, there sat a young man with a blade of grass in his mouth and a somewhat strange behavior. When others heard Xiao Yan's story, they all looked curious and gathered around the elder, hoping to become that kind of person in the future. However, this young man had his own way of life, and seeing that the elder had no time to take care of himself, he simply lay on a cattail and counted the clouds floating in the sky. Xiao Mo, aren't you interested in the stories told by the elders? The young man's name is Xiao Mo, and he has already reached the strength of the 9th level of Dou Qi at a young age. He has excellent talent and is also somewhat famous within the talented Xiao clan. When asked about his name, he is Xiao Lan, which can be considered Xiao Mo's childhood playmate. Xiao Mo ignored Xiao Lan's inquiry, chewed on the grass leaves in his mouth, and looked at the clouds in the sky, lost in thought. Based on what the old man just said, am I coming to the Duki continent 100 years after the 5 emperors broke the sky? In his heart, Xiao Mo turned his head to look at the statue beside him, which vaguely revealed his authority, and became even more convinced of his conjecture. Xiao Mo. Suddenly, a deafening sound echoed in his mind, and Xiao Mo, who was lost in thought, was pulled back to reality. He looked up and a wrinkled face appeared in front of him. I'll go. Xiao Mo was frightened and instinctively started to retreat. After a moment of reaction, Xiao Mo realized that only he could see the old man suddenly appearing, while others only saw him inexplicably startled. Xiao Mo thought he was dizzy and rubbed his eyes. I'll be good. Did I encounter a ghost in broad daylight? Xiao Mo shook his head, reaching out his hands to fiercely pat his cheek. However, the strong pain told him that what he saw was not false. A blurry phantom floated in mid-air, and the sound he heard should have been weathered. Xiao Mo's gaze had just come into contact with it, and the other person's dark, like black hole eyes seemed to be pulling his soul away. Realizing something was not good, he quickly withdrew his gaze and turned to look at him. Xiao Mo, what's wrong with you? Sitting side by side, Xiao Lan noticed Xiao Mo's abnormality and asked with concern. Xiao Mo's body stiffened, and he tilted his head and squinted his eyes to look at the bold ghost. He saw the wind and sun shining brightly without any abnormalities, and Xiao Lan followed Xiao Mo's gaze to look around. Hee, it's okay. I just closed my eyes and woke up, dreaming that I just fell from a high place. Xiao Mo's words made Xiao Lan feel very puzzled. Lan, is there a theory of ghosts and gods in this world? Just as Xiao Lan was still pondering the meaning of Xiao Mo's previous sentence, Xiao Mo's words were once again astonishing. Ghosts and gods. What does a ghost mean? And what does a god mean? Mo Gu, are you sure you're okay? Why did you suddenly ask such a strange question? Xiao Lan has limited knowledge and cannot answer the questions suddenly raised by Xiao Mo due to association. The elder who happened to escape from the student crowd heard Xiao Mo's questions and found them truly novel and interesting. Ghosts. They should be those soul bodies that have experienced many hardships and have deep grievances, or they may be some kind of person. God. Those who possess unparalleled strength and are able to formulate rules. The elder had an extremely old appearance, but his eyes were clear and bright. Looking at Xiao Mo's delicate and childish face, he also wondered why the young ghost in front of him, who was not yet an adult, asked such strange questions. Xiao Mo saw him standing in front of him and hurriedly stood up to salute. Their eyes converged, like a flash of lightning. The corner of the elder's mouth slightly raised, and he turned around and left, shouting repeatedly. Fun. Fun. Xiao Mo remained motionless in the same spot, watching the elder's departing figure, muttering something in his mouth that even Xiao Lan, who was closest to him, could not hear clearly. The elder left, and many students lost their restraint. At a time of youthful vigor, they began to jump up and down in a frenzy, and the entire square instantly became noisy. Have you heard about it? That guy Xiao Ming seemed to have failed his assault on the fighter last night, and I haven't even seen him today. Ah. He failed. Isn't he one of the most likely geniuses among us to break through the fighter first? How could he fail? Xiao Mo withdrew his thoughts and, upon hearing the sound, looked towards the crowd, only to see a thin and cunning Xiao clan son, who was as thin as a bamboo pole and had a hint of cunning in the corner of his eye, vividly telling the story. I don't know where he got the news from, but from the reactions of everyone, it can be seen that the person he mentioned is definitely a prominent figure of the Xiao clan. Did the impact fighter fail? As a descendant of the Xiao tribe, I unexpectedly stumbled at the stage of gaining insight. Isn't it true that all members of the tribe have the bloodline of the Dou Emperor? Even if it's rare, it shouldn't be like this. Xiao Mo was also listening attentively to the gossip and interesting stories discussed by everyone on the side. After listening for a while, he became interested in only Xiao Ming's affairs, while others were all trivial matters. Just as Xiao Mo was about to get up and leave, the thin figure who had been sharing gossip in the crowd turned around and saw Xiao Mo's back. Xiao Mo, as a genius of the Xiao clan who is on par with Xiao Ming, he has now failed to challenge the fighter. When will you prepare to challenge him? Feeling the gaze of everyone behind him, Xiao Mo ignored it and left in front of everyone's eyes. Chapter 2. Red Rope Pendant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lan, who is that kid who keeps chattering? Seeing that it was already far away, Xiao Mo asked Xiao Lan who was leaving with him. Who? A skinny monkey. Mo Gu, what's wrong with you? What's so strange today? You don't even know about the skinny monkey. Under Xiao Lan's surprised gaze, Xiao Mo awkwardly scratched his head and said resentfully. Oh my. Stop talking nonsense and just tell me who that guy is. Xiao Lan felt strange in her heart, but she said slowly. The name of the skinny monkey is Xiao Ho. This person has extremely thin and weak pointed cheeks, so everyone calls him the skinny monkey. His father is a deacon in the clan, so he likes to talk about others' secrets, which some people like and others dislike. And Mo Gu, you are one of the people who detest him the most." During Xiao Lan's speech, she occasionally glanced sideways at Xiao Mo's condition. "It seems like a person who likes to chew on his tongue. Since I am one of them, there must be others, you all tell me to listen." Xiao Mo strolled leisurely in the courtyard, pondering something in his mind. Suddenly, the conversation changed, and Xiao Lan and her companions were surprised and disoriented. "As you said, the person mentioned by Xiao Ho, Xiao Ming, is also extremely disgusted with him." Let's put this matter aside for now, the most important thing is to understand our own situation." With the help of Xiao Ho, Xiao Mo took the opportunity to inquire about the information he needed, and then the two separated and returned to their own room. A solitary courtyard in the southwest, where various exotic flowers and plants were planted. Counting them all, it was early summer and the spring scenery in the garden couldn't be closed. As Xiao Mo stepped into the courtyard, he felt a strong vitality accompanied by the fragrance of flowers. The door opened and the interior was decorated elegantly, with nothing else but necessary furniture. Xiao Mo entered the room and looked around. The room was clean and tidy, with signs of daily cleaning. "I didn't expect the former owner of this body to be a person with quite elegant taste." Put on in a moment of emotion, Xiao Mo collapsed on the warm bed, closing his eyes and pondering. Whoosh, the sound was silent, and Xiao Mo's chest was no longer heaving. Only by looking closely could he feel his weak breathing. At this moment, Xiao Mo exerted all his soul power to feel his body. As time passed, something hidden deep in his mind was slowly emerging, but the pain that penetrated deep into his bone marrow was also getting stronger and stronger. Crunch! Xiao Mo gritted his teeth and insisted in a somewhat eerie voice, with beads of sweat on his forehead dripping uncontrollably. The bedding and clothes were already soaked. "Hold on. It's just a little bit close." Xiao Mo was only a tiny millimeter away from losing consciousness, but there was always a voice in his heart cheering him on, telling him that to understand the truth, even if he gritted his teeth, he had to persevere. There was only one last step left, and the pain was like a bone-etching ant, from head to toe, from inside out, with no part of his body spared. Xiao Mo's eyes widened and he let out a terrifying scream. Bang! In the dark, it seemed like hearing some cracking sound, but due to Xiao Mo's fierce cries, no one paid attention. Finally. Good. Now. Everything came to an abrupt end, and the room returned to calm once again. Xiao Mo lay on the bed, swaying in all directions, with a warm breeze blowing outside the window. Everything remained unchanged, but it seemed to have changed everything. The next day. The sunrise rises in the east, and the first ray of sunlight in the morning shines on Xiao Mo's delicate and handsome cheeks. The young man who was still childish overnight has become somewhat different. Xiao Mo, with sleepy eyes, struggled to get up and didn't notice any change in himself. He was dressed in a black robe and stepped out of the door. Did the courtyard get robbed? The door opened, and yesterday's spring scenery in the garden disappeared, leaving only remnants of flowers and withered willows. Although he only moved into the courtyard yesterday, Xiao Mo still liked the strange flowers and plants in the garden. Seeing the scene before him, he stumbled forward to check the situation. The withered yellow leaves, withered branches, or cracked black lines on the ground indicate that all flowers and plants have been instantly drained of their vitality to show such signs. No wonder the vigorous power of life in the courtyard is so scarce. Xiao Mo was puzzled and couldn't understand. Looking at the scene of devastation in front of him, he couldn't help but feel emotional. In his heart, a burning sensation suddenly came from his chest. Xiao Mo was alert and quickly reached out to explore. What is this? After some exploration, a pendant shaped like a ring appeared in Xiao Mo's hand. The pendant was hollow, as black as ink, with gold wire inlay patterns, and looked very ordinary. It was tied to a red rope woven of unknown material. Xiao Mo was calculating for a long time without knowing what it was, when suddenly his mind felt a sharp pain, and some memory fragments flashed slowly before him like slides. Are these fragments the things I got through all my hard work yesterday? Xiao Mo carefully observed the fleeting memory fragments in front of him, thinking of piecing them together. However, with the extremely fast flashing speed and severe damage to the fragments, Xiao Mo was in a panic. With his eyesight at this moment, he could only see the 8 words: the source of all things, all causes and effects. Fragments of memory flashed by, and the piercing sensation in his mind gradually dissipated. Xiao Mo's eyes were lifeless, and he kept muttering the 8 words he had seen. The source of all things, all kinds of causality. The source of all things, all kinds of causality. The murmurs grew louder and louder, and as time passed, the movements of everything around him became very slow. The flapping of mosquito wings was clearly visible to Xiao Mo. No. It's not that things' movements have slowed down, but rather that the flow of time around me has changed. Xiao Mo was excited about his amazing discovery, but also worried and confused. What exactly is this? After multiple tests, Xiao Mo found that by reciting the 8 great words, the eerie pendant in his hand would temporarily delay or accelerate the time within a radius of 1 meter, and could only be activated 3 times a day. Xiao Mo exhausted all means and only studied this effect. On the way to the hall, he carefully tied it around his neck and hid it. Mo go, good morning. Xiao Mo tried to pretend as usual, but when Xiao Lan suddenly appeared to greet her, she was still startled. Bang! With a surge of fighting energy and no eyes in her body, Xiao Lan flew backwards in response. She didn't know what had happened, and there was no pain behind her, even a slight tenderness. Xiao Lan reached out to touch it, and a howling palm wind came towards her, carrying a slightly pleasant fragrance. Ah, the slapping force was even stronger than Xiao Mo's. Xiao Lan twisted her face and spun in the air several times before falling to Xiao Mo's feet. Xiao Mo reacted and pulled her up, but couldn't help but burst into laughter. Xiao Lan was afraid of getting dust on her clothes because she was lying on her buttocks, so it was not a big deal. However, when she pulled her right face and stood up, there was a burning sensation. Xiao Lan reached out to touch it, and her face was already swollen, with even more intense burning pain. Mo go, you're still laughing. I'll say hello to you, why did you suddenly attack me? Before Xiao Mo could explain, a strong murderous aura appeared on Xiao Lan's back. Chapter 3. Xiao Fengyi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Be careful. Xiao Mo spoke out as a reminder, his foot movements were even faster, and his attacking figure from behind had just appeared. The palms of both sides, covered in fighting spirit, had already collided, and the strong waves of air lifted Xiao Lan, who had lower strength, out again. In an instant, everyone around him was surrounded by onlookers who were watching the excitement. I didn't expect to meet such a young member of the clan who could catch my palm as soon as I left the level. What's your name? The person who made the move was a woman, possibly because the woman's innate development was earlier than that of a man. Xiao Mo withdrew his slightly painful palm and hid it behind him, looking up to see the woman suddenly attacking in front of him. Having a tall figure and fair skin like fat, she looked like a typical beauty at first glance, but the feeling she gave was different, which Xiao Mo couldn't describe for a moment. The woman dissipated her fighting spirit, put away her airs, and looked at Xiao Mo again. Seeing the other person's gaze finally fall on her own chest, she became angry again. Wanderer. You are indeed like those stinky men. Look at me, I won't dig out your dog eyes. Xiao Mo also quickly dodged the situation and kept explaining, but the opponent's attack was too fierce and did not give him a chance to say a whole word. Since you forced me, then. The woman held a palm in her left hand and punched in her right hand, with a fierce attack. With the support of her fighting spirit, her palm blade was no less than that of a refined steel blade, and she pressed forward step by step, several times crossing over Xiao Mo's deadly area. Go back. The woman's palm blade attacked again, and Xiao Mo skillfully captured it. The kite flipped over and died on the scissor leg, using the power of the pendant to temporarily pause the time around her. Suddenly, the woman reacted and was subdued to the ground, unable to move. What's going on? The woman couldn't believe it, and the onlookers around didn't know what had happened, only feeling a flash in front of her. How dare you clamp your legs around my neck? The woman's left hand was tightly clenched in her hands by Xiao Mo. She had intended to use her right fist to relieve her difficulty, but Xiao Mo noticed that her legs were slightly stronger, and a suffocating feeling came from her tender and slender neck. Don't be impulsive, impulsiveness is the devil. My actions just now had no intention of offending you. Please listen to my explanation, Mississippi. Xiao Mo felt that it was inappropriate to keep the other person lying on the ground. Without waiting for their agreement to listen to his explanation, he was the first to let go of the other person. The woman was surprised and looked at the young man in front of her with a deep sense of shame, feeling a slight decrease in resentment in her heart. Humph, for the sake of our tie, let me give you a chance to explain. Xiao Mo looked up at the girl in front of him who was a bit proud and coquettish, looking for the girl under the steps. His lips also smiled knowingly, and he followed the other person's words. Since you are generous, Xiao Mo would like to thank you first. Before explaining, may I have the privilege of knowing your name and taboo? I have been in the clan for many years and it seems that I have not seen your beautiful appearance. You have a smooth tongue. Xiao Mo's smooth sailing made her very happy, but her insightful words were extremely disgusting. However, when she saw Xiao Mo's sincere face waiting for a reply, the woman still revealed her name and taboo. My name is Xiao Fengyi, as for the rest, you know it's useless. Xiao Fengyi. Upon hearing this, Xiao Mo also wanted to think of something in his mind, pondering for a moment without leaving any impression. Since the girl has already informed me of her name and taboo, please rest assured to listen to my explanation and make a decision afterwards. I think the girl is a naturally beautiful embryo. When ordinary people see her, they will definitely take a second look. As for me, I have been staring at the girl because she has a strange feeling that deeply attracts me. That's enough. Just as Xiao Mo was about to continue speaking, he was suddenly stopped by Xiao Fengyi's sharp voice. Seeing a blush on his fair and greasy cheeks, he disregarded the misunderstanding of others and rushed out of the crowd to leave. Misunderstandings appeared inexplicably and were inexplicably resolved, causing everyone to feel bored and disperse. Xiao Mo sat against the wall, and a strong sense of pain and swelling instantly spread throughout his body. At some point, Xiao Lan, who had been lifted out, appeared limping beside Xiao Mo. Looking at each other, supporting each other and walking shoulder to shoulder. Lan, do you know that there is a person named Xiao Fengyi in the clan? Xiao Mo's steps were relatively steady, but Xiao Lan stumbled and walked very slowly. Xiao Mo took the opportunity to inquire. Xiao Fengyi. Why does it sound a bit impressive? I seem to have heard of this person from Xiao Ho. I don't know specifically, I only know that she has been in seclusion within the clan all year round, and it seems that she is a deliberately protected object within the clan. Xiao Lan explained nonchalantly and suddenly realized something. Her unsteady steps abruptly came to an end, and her body stiffened as she turned towards Xiao Mo. You're not going to tell me, is that Xiao Fengyi who just clashed with you? After Xiao Lan expressed her conjecture, a cold sweat had already oozed from her back. Yes, I just asked her about her name and she told me it was Xiao Fengyi. Click. Xiao Mo's casual words were like a bolt from the blue. Xiao Lan was stunned and panicked. Xiao Mo reached out and shook his hand in front of him, only to find that there was no response. What's wrong with you, kid? Didn't you hear that we don't know each other without fighting? The misunderstanding between us and her has been resolved. Are you still afraid that she will go back and forth? During the conversation, Xiao Mo pulled Xiao Lan towards the clan square. Although Xiao Lan was comforted by Xiao Mo's words, the worried expression on her face had not completely dissipated. Xiao Mo saw it in his eyes and knew in his heart that the other party had something to explain to him. Lan, is there anything important today? Why are there so many people on the square? Xiao Mo looked up and saw a surge of people. There were few places to settle in the vast square, and many unfamiliar faces appeared. Looking around, everyone explained in groups of 3 or 5, not knowing what to say and occasionally laughing. Mo go, I don't know what happened either. But the scene before me should be that something big is about to happen, Xiao Lan originally wanted to confess what she had hidden, but the voice of greeting suddenly rang out. Hello. Xiao Mo. Here. Through the dense crowd, one could vaguely see Xiao Ho jumping up to greet him, and Xiao Mo and his companions walked towards him upon hearing the sound. What's going on between you two? We're all waiting for you. Wait for us. Why? Xiao Mo was not sure why, so he immediately questioned in a suspicious voice. Xiao Hosheng had a sharp and sarcastic face, and when he saw his eyebrows furrow slightly, an extremely disgusted expression appeared, and his sharp voice sounded. Why? You don't know anything. It's really despicable that you came so late. In order to figure out what had happened, Xiao Mo gritted his teeth and suppressed the urge to crush the person in front of him, speaking politely and very politely. Then please tell me what exactly happened between the two of them. Watching Xiao Mo's crumpled appearance, Xiao Ho let out a silver bell-like laughter, feeling inexplicably happy in his heart. Well, since I'm a colleague, I'll be kind enough to tell you all. The people who appear here today are all the younger generation within the clan, including the hidden Tianjiao within the clan. Gathering everyone is to select those who can enter the secret realm. Secret realm. Upon hearing the secret realm, Xiao Mo instantly became interested and urged Xiao Ho, who had started selling tricks, to continue preaching. It is said that this secret realm was opened by Emperor Yan Xiao Yan to provide for future generations' cultivation. Inside, there are numerous dangerous treasures that make people envious. Chapter 4. Internal Trial Within the Clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this point, Xiao Mo also understood the reason why everyone gathered here. Looking at Xiao Ho, who was no longer valuable in front of him, his face that had previously been trying to please disappeared in an instant, and he turned around and left. You. Xiao Mo's actions made him furious, pointing at Xiao Mo's departing figure and cursing something for a moment. It seems that due to Emperor Yan, the background of the Xiao tribe is still very amazing. Xiao Mo avoided the crowd and arrived at the edge of the square. Xiao Lan, who had been accompanying him all along, did not follow behind. Instead, she chose to stand with her colleagues, each with their own plans, and Xiao Mo did not care about it. The scorching sun was shining, and there was no place to rest in the square. Everyone was anxiously waiting next to each other. Boom! 5 astonishing beams of light appeared in the void, and a terrifying pressure instantly enveloped everyone's heads. Those with weaker cultivation began to feel unsteady and unable to breathe. The beam of light dissipated, and 5 figures stepped into the air, landing together at the center of the square. Everyone quickly greeted them. Disciple, pay respects to the elder. 5 people, 3 men and 2 women, 2 elderly people, 1 middle-aged man with a body like a diamond and a tall and imposing figure, looks like a body refiner. The 5 of them landed at the center of the square and didn't rush to speak. Instead, they looked around and saw some disciples who had not yet recovered, shaking their heads helplessly. The Minister of Internal and External Affairs of the Old Master Clan, Lao Xiaoyi, is the main person in charge of this trial. I believe everyone is already aware of what will happen next. I won't elaborate on it here, but just emphasize that this trial is very dangerous. If you don't pay attention, you will lose your life. Those with insufficient strength should withdraw as soon as possible. Just now, we released the pressure. Anyone with any abnormalities under the pressure will be automatically eliminated and cannot participate in the trial. Everyone was full of expectations, hoping to benefit from the trial, but the words of the elders instantly extinguished most people's fantasies. Most of them withdrew from the square upon hearing the words, but there was still a small group who refused to withdraw and insisted on participating in the next trial. After discussion, the 5 elders also agreed to this. At this moment, just because of the elders' words, the remaining number of people in the square was only 1/3 of the initial number. Xiao Mo noticed that Xiao Lan, who was not strong enough, was also among them. This guy seems to have another plan. Glancing over, a beautiful figure was located in another corner of the square. Xiao Mo wouldn't greet it in front of everyone like a dumbfounded youth, as it would not be beneficial and would make enemies everywhere. The elder saw that the number of people who had decided to participate in the next trial had been determined, and he spoke up again to explain. This trial is unique to our Xiao clan, and the trial space was opened up by Emperor Yan Xiao Yan. There are many opportunities and secrets scattered inside, but there is also an extremely cruel monster. Unlike Warcraft, this monster is completely composed of flames and is much stronger than ordinary Warcraft. Your task in this trial is to kill enough monsters, collect the fire crystals condensed inside their bodies, and whoever obtains the most fire crystals within 10 days will be the final winner. The top 3 can each receive a purple chi revitalization pill, and the top scorer will also have a chance to enter the 10,000 fire source pool for cultivation, purple chi revival pill. The 10,000 fire source pool. As soon as the reward for the winner was given, everyone was shocked. First, set aside the purple chi revitalization pill, which is infinitely close to the 5th grade pill. Just the 10,000 fire source pool, which can refine bones, wash marrow, and improve cultivation qualifications, can make everyone envious. Interesting, it's really fascinating. When others were surprised by the abundance of rewards in this trial, Xiao Mo, who ranked last, sighed inwardly. In the world of the jungle, how could there be such a good thing of falling pie from the sky? It seems that this trial will definitely not be easy. After the explanation was completed, the elder and everyone dispersed, busy preparing for the trial. When Xiao Mo was also preparing to leave, the beautiful figure blocked the way. Xiao Mo did not speak in a hurry, and the two stood there with their eyes fixed on each other because the others had already left, so no one was watching. You can really calm down and not ask me why I'm blocking you. Xiao Fengyi couldn't hold on and spoke first, with a hint of warmth and anger in her tone. Seeing this, Xiao Mo was also quite helpless. Since you're blocking my way, I'm sure there must be something I'm asking for. If you don't speak, what can I say? You. Miss Xiao Fengyi has a quick temper and sharp teeth, but there is always a feeling of restraint in front of Xiao Mo. Humph, come with me, I have something to talk to you about. There was an irresistible feeling in his tone, and Xiao Mo was also very curious about what the other party had to find him at this time. The quiet bamboo forest, the narrow path that only allowed one person to walk, Xiao Mo didn't remember a place like this within his clan. Following Xiao Fengyi's footsteps, his curiosity gradually surpassed his doubts. In the depths of the bamboo sea, there is a simple thatched cottage, and at the end of the journey, a pavilion under the bamboo stands out. Xiao Mo looked around and didn't notice anything special, except that after stepping into the range of the thatched cottage, he always felt a pair of eyes staring at him in the dark. Master, I have brought the person. As we reached the pavilion, we saw a lifeless and disheveled old man playing a game with a handsome and dignified man. The man was holding a white sun, while the old man was holding a black sun. You came and fought happily, completely ignoring Xiao Fengyi's shout. The man who was considering his next move noticed Xiao Mo behind Xiao Fengyi and just glanced up and down before placing the chess piece in the deciding position. Thank you very much, clan elder, for being humble. The man stood up and saluted, holding a black bamboo and jade fan, showcasing a gentleman's demeanor. Why did you win again, kid? Stop playing. Stop playing. The old man saw no hope in this game and also got angry like a child. Xiao Fengyi had a black line on her face and went forward to grab the old man's left arm with both hands. "Master, there are still outsiders here." The old man coughed awkwardly upon hearing this, his gaze fixed on Xiao Mo. The wind blew through the bamboo trees, and everything around him seemed to be at a standstill at this moment. Xiao Mo could not perceive anything. "This old man is very strong." Xiao Mo stumbled under his feet, just for an instant. The bamboo leaves were still swaying in the breeze, and the energy between heaven and earth had not disappeared. However, Xiao Mo knew clearly that there was indeed that moment just now. "Not bad, little guy. Jingbai, what do you think of this little guy?" The old man withdrew his gaze and turned to look at the handsome man beside him. The man waved his jade fan in his hand and closed his eyes, saying warmly, "If the clan elders think it's good, they should consider it as good." The old man also smiled and shook his head helplessly when he saw the situation. Xiao Mo felt contempt from the other person, but did not directly point it out. "A hypocrite. Jumping clowns. We both have each other's evaluations in our hearts." Chapter 5. Forbidden Areas of the Xiao Clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, the reason why I left the stage this time is for this trial. Xiao Mo is the person I have chosen to accompany me. I have tested his strength and believe that together we can achieve victory in the trial, even leading the way. Before the old man could speak, Xiao Mo sternly refused. "Sorry, I'm not with anyone. I have no intention of competing for this trial, I just want to gain some knowledge. If you continue to chat, I'll leave first." Xiao Mo expressed her attitude and was about to leave. Xiao Fengyi didn't expect him to be like this. In her eyes, no matter how tempting the reward was, anyone would try their best to keep it for themselves. As she watched Xiao Mo leave, she wanted to speak up and try to persuade her to stay, but Xiao Jingbai's voice echoed behind her. "Junior sister, don't worry. I came to meet my master today to help you win in the trial. Why cooperate with someone you don't know?" Xiao Mo's figure had already disappeared into the bamboo sea. Xiao Fengyi's eyes showed a hint of disappointment, which was noticed by Xiao Jingbai. His right hand, holding the fan, tightened a bit. Xiao Mo searched for a long time in the bamboo sea alone before finding his way out. Just as he stepped out of the bamboo forest, he turned his head and saw a dilapidated stone tablet standing there. "All of this is really inexplicable, and I don't know who that old man is. I heard Xiao Fengyi and the man call him Master, probably an elder in the hidden world of the clan. Do you want to drag me into your troubles? Isn't it fragrant for me to explore the secret realm alone?" Thinking of this, Xiao Mo temporarily put aside what he had seen today, and as the sun set in the west, his figure was pulled away by the old man. Southwest Biyuan. The other participants in the trial were actively preparing. Xiao Mo returned to his own courtyard and found some new exotic flowers and plants to plant. With each shovel and pit, Xiao Mo planted several vibrant tender buds. "I don't know if it will survive, but this time entering the secret realm, you can take the opportunity to search for any unique flowers and plants inside." "All right." As the last plant was planted, Xiao Mo straightened his slightly swollen waist, and beads of sweat on his cheeks, as big as beans, shimmered with silver under the bright moonlight. On a quiet and ordinary night, Xiao Mo lay sprawled on the bed. In no time, the sound of sleeping snores rang out, and a light emanated from Xiao Mo's chest. Even under the cover of clothing, there was a tendency to illuminate the entire room, but no one could detect it. The light converged at a point, flickering rhythmically with Xiao Mo's call. Observing the sea, it was as if the capacity of a pond was starting to expand imperceptibly. And there is also a stone tablet that appears out of thin air in the Sea of Consciousness, located in the center of the sea. Due to the strong suppression of the ripples caused by the growth of spiritual power, if spiritual power is concentrated, it can be found at the stone tablet is engraved with 8 words that Xiao Mo accidentally learned. The words are very small, and what is written later is unknown. Something appeared in the sea of consciousness, and Xiao Mo was completely unaware. One night passed quietly, and Xiao Mo woke up early in the morning, feeling an unprecedented sense of comfort. He used his fists and feet, and his body became slightly lighter. He mastered both speed and strength more finely. Xiao Mo looked at the flipped hands in front of him and felt somewhat incredulous. What's going on? Do I still have the ability to practice by sleeping at night? Anyway, if you can increase your strength by 1 point before entering the secret realm, that's 1 point. With his strength growing, Xiao Mo's mood was extremely joyful. On the way to the square gathering, he saw everything in front of him so beautiful. At the clan square, the people who decided to participate in the trial had already gathered around the corner. Xiao Mo stayed at the end of the team, while the elder who presided over the trial on stage spoke of soulful chicken soup. Alright, it's time. Everyone keep up with me. The back mountain of the Xiao clan is shrouded in smoke all year round. This is an area strictly prohibited from entering within the clan. Violators are imprisoned for 3 years, and those with serious circumstances are expelled from the Xiao clan by abolishing their cultivation. Under the leadership of the elders, everyone has also entered this legendary area for the first time. The mountains were hidden in the clouds and mist, visible only a few meters away. Everyone was closely following the elder who was leading the way, and Xiao Mo followed at the end of the team, seemingly intentionally keeping a distance from the team. What's going on? Where's the elder leading the way? Suddenly, the person following the elder in front shouted loudly, saying that the elder had just been in front of them and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The crowd began to panic upon hearing this. What should we do? This is our first time entering here and we have no understanding of the situation inside. It is said that none of the people lost inside can survive and leave. Let's hurry and return to the original path. Really, fake. I don't read much, don't scare me. An ethereal sound came from the clouds, and the timid person was instantly frightened and screamed. Ha ha ha. Accompanied by screams, loud voices rang out, and everyone turned their heads to look behind them. They saw Xiao Mo supporting the rock wall and laughing uncontrollably. Damn it, it turned out to be your kid who caused it. This action caused everyone's anger, and Fengyi, who was in the team, also looked at Xiao Mo with a worried expression. Junior sister, it's fortunate that you haven't collaborated with such a person. Otherwise, it would have caused public anger before you even entered the secret realm. It seems that this kid won't be feeling well in the future. Everyone, take it easy. I'm Xiao Jingbai. Maybe everyone has heard my name before. I'm here to help my junior sister win. This junior brother probably didn't mean to do it. We don't need to get angry and argue with him. The most important thing now is to decide whether to move forward or return on the same path. I would like to remind everyone that if you follow the original route and return, you are highly likely to be judged as a failure in this trial. Xiao Jingbai. That jade-faced young master. Everyone was also surprised to hear that Xiao Jingbai had self-proclaimed his name taboo. How could it be? Yumian Gongzi Xiao Jingbai is already a genius in the clan who is about to enter the ranks of the powerful Dohuang. How could he appear here? Yeah. Everyone echoed in agreement. Yumian young master. How could someone give themselves such an shameless title? Xiao Mo was carefree and made fun of Xiao Jingbai in front of everyone. Although Xiao Jingbai was angry, he couldn't easily get angry in front of Xiao Fengyi and the others. He just had to endure with a fake smile on his face. Junior brother, have I ever offended you in any way? How could I speak so harshly towards you? Xiao Jingbai unfolded the ink bamboo jade fan, with a gentle demeanor. As he retorted, he directly pointed his spear at Xiao Mo. Everyone saw his extraordinary temperament and confirmed that the person in front of him was the jade-faced young master Xiao Jingbai, who came forward to boast and flatter him. Chapter 6. Destruction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior Brother Jingbai, at this point, we can only rely on you. Yeah. Please ask Senior Brother Jingbai to lead us to continue participating in the trial. The people who were originally considering giving up the trial directly, when they saw the life-saving straw in front of them, were thinking of continuing to participate in the trial. Indeed, people die for wealth and birds die for food. In the face of enormous benefits, everything is illusory. Xiao Mo shook his head in disgust as he looked at the lackey in front of him. Xiao Jingbai greatly enjoyed the feeling of being surrounded by everyone. While standing in the crowd enjoying praise, his gaze caught sight of Xiao Mo standing alone, his mouth curved upwards, and he spoke ill-intently. I don't know if junior brother Xiao Mo needs my protection. We already have so many people, and if we encounter danger in the future, I may not be able to take care of it. Xiao Mo didn't take this speech seriously, but Xiao Fengyi beside him recognized the profound meaning in the words. Senior brother, as fellow members of the clan, why do you need to be like this? Since then, Xiao Fengyi has harbored resentment towards Xiao Jingbai and deliberately kept a certain distance. Xiao Jingbai was also quite angry. He didn't hesitate to lower his status and accompany him to participate in the trial, but now he is confronting himself for Xiao Mo's sake. Junior sister, I am the one you can trust and rely on. Xiao Fengyi stepped aside and ignored the other person, while Xiao Mo leisurely enjoyed the exciting scene before her. It's all your kid's fault. Losing face in front of everyone, Xiao Jingbai became angry and ashamed. He no longer maintained his humble and gentlemanly demeanor, but instead exerted force under his feet, spinning his jade fan in his hand, and rushing straight towards Xiao Mo like an arrow. Just when everyone thought Xiao Mo would be killed by a single blow, the smoke around him became even denser, and in the blink of an eye, the people around him had disappeared. Xiao Jingbai's cold attack pierced through the clouds and fell into the air. In an instant, the smoke dissipated, and everyone disappeared in place, unable to see clearly in front of them. Whoosh colorful light flashed by, and everyone was scattered everywhere, on trees, mountains, by lakes. Xiao Mo felt a strong sense of weightlessness, as the strong wind whistled past his ears. His delicate face had already deformed a bit, and he couldn't bear the discomfort. He opened his eyes and realized that he was falling from a high altitude. What's the situation? Am I about to fall from a high altitude and die before the trial starts? Xiao Mo wouldn't just sit idly by, tighten his core strength, spread his limbs, and try to increase his contact area with the air as much as possible. The speed of descent slightly slowed down, but it was not yet out of danger. A blood-red fighting spirit emerged, enveloping the body and transforming into protective armor. Xiao Mo urged the fighting spirit to attack the ground in order to obtain counterforce. With nearly 100 meters left from the ground, Xiao Mo exerted all his strength to stimulate the remaining fighting spirit in his body, and with the help of his previous mastery of himself and strength, landed on a towering ancient tree. I'm glad I'm clever. Falling on the towering ancient tree, Xiao Mo did not rush to leave, but stayed on it to rest and recover the fighting energy he had just consumed. For the first time entering the so-called cultivation secret realm, it was unknown whether there were any other dangers here besides the exotic beasts mentioned by the elder. Compared to wandering blindly on the ground, it was safer to stay on the tree. Moreover, the ancient tree was nearly 100 meters high, with a wide field of vision, which happened to explore the surrounding situation. Xiao Mo carefully inspected the surroundings and found no abnormalities before sitting cross-legged on the sturdy tree branch to regain his fighting spirit. Close your eyes and feel the intense fire elements around you, striving to gather towards Xiao Mo without any need for traction, directly integrating into your body and transforming into fighting spirit. I didn't expect there to be such a strong power of fire element in any place here. If I practice here for a long time, I should be able to become a true strong person in no time. Not long after, Xiao Mo opened his eyes and felt that his fighting spirit had completely or even slightly increased, showing a satisfied smile. Everywhere in the secret realm, there have been some casualties, and many people have gathered together to hunt down exotic beasts. Among them, the largest number of people have gathered around Xiao Jingbai. Looking from afar, dozens of people have surrounded Xiao Jingbai. This guy is really popular. Hiding in the dark and observing for a moment, Xiao Mo did not notice Xiao Fengyi's figure. Just as he was about to choose to temporarily avoid appearing, there were suddenly vibrating sounds around him. Xiao Mo lowered his body and firmly grasped the trunk of the tree beside him. Martial law. A swarm of exotic beasts is approaching us. Xiao Jingbai, who is in a crowd, has the most sensitive soul perception. When vibrations appear, he speaks out to remind those around him. It is precisely because of Xiao Jingbai's presence that others are not panicked when facing the tide of exotic beasts. Everyone, do a good defense and attack, let these animals see our strength. Everyone's confidence greatly increased, and they launched attacks one after another. As soon as the exotic beasts appeared, they launched a counterattack. Seeing this, Xiao Mo also secretly cursed the fool in his heart. Roar! The fierce roar of the beast sounded, and Xiao Mo cautiously poked his head out. A golden flame-wrapped monster led by more than 20 wolf-shaped beasts was quietly surrounding Xiao Jingbai and his group. Are there any of these exotic beasts with spiritual intelligence? Xiao Mo observed in the dark and also discovered many useful intelligence. Looking at the group of people who were already prey, all Xiao Mo could do was pray that they could escape. The exotic beast approached silently, causing Xiao Jingbai to feel a bit flustered and realizing something was amiss. You guys keep martial law, I'll climb high and manipulate the situation. The ink bamboo and jade fan swayed, and the wind blew under his feet. With a gentle leap, Xiao Mo appeared on the towering ancient wood behind him, about 100 meters high. He climbed high and looked far away. Xiao Jingbai was shocked and suppressed his panic. Monsters are attacking, everyone prepare for battle. As soon as the words fell, several times the size of a pack of wolves suddenly appeared around the group, and they were also startled. When they turned back to look at Xiao Jingbai's position, they had already disappeared. Senior brother Jingbai. Jingbai senior brother actually abandoned us. Ah, how could that be? The wolf pack launched a fierce attack, cruelly dividing the weaker ones. The strong smell of blood immediately filled the air, and everyone was inexperienced. When they saw such a scene, they felt nauseous. After smelling the smell of blood, the wolf pack fell into a bloodthirsty state, and their attack became even more fierce. In a moment, there were only 3 left of dozens of people, with their backs leaning against each other and their bodies stained red with blood. Damn it, what kind of jade-faced young master? When in danger, he left us and ran away. At the last moment of their lives, the 3 of them cursed with resentment at Xiao Jingbai, who had fled alone with no movement or expression. Faced with the wolf pack tightly surrounding them, the 3 of them knew they couldn't escape, and their eyes also showed a hint of ferocity. I'm fighting. If I can pull one, it's one. The 3 of them let out their last screams of anger in their lives, and no miracle appeared. Xiao Mo quietly watched everything that happened before him. Xiao Jingbai. Chapter 7. Death for Wealth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 8. Continuous Breakthroughs. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In half a day, Xiao Mo had already killed nearly 20 exotic beasts equivalent to the level of second-level warcraft. Seeing that there was very little time left for cultivation, Xiao Mo stopped searching for the figure of the exotic beast, found a relatively safe place to settle down, and directly began to cultivate. The terrain here is low-lying, like a natural gathering place for gas. Xiao Mo sat in the middle, only slightly pulling, and the power of the fire element in the air seemed to be summoned, converging one after another. Xiao Mo also refused to accept anyone, quickly converting the power of the fire element into fighting energy, and then condensing it into a cyclone. The process was complicated, and he had to remove other elements contained in the air. Although his cultivation speed was several times faster than outside, it was still unsatisfactory. The Na ring pendant suddenly hanging on his chest emitted a faint light, floating in the air. Just as Xiao Mo felt strange, all the power of the fire element in a radius of several kilometers was instantly absorbed. The dark and ink-like pendant appeared with flame runes on its surface. At the beginning, the faint light suddenly became dazzling, like a small sun hanging in the air. What are these pendants up to? Xiao Mo reached out to block the dazzling light. After a moment, the ring pendant flew back to Xiao Mo's hand, feeling a little warmth. In addition to the red string pendant, there were also 2 rose-red crystals. Xiao Mo hung the red string pendant back around his neck and curiously played with the crystal in his hand. Is this the fire crystal that the pendant absorbs the power of all the fire elements in a radius of several kilometers and condenses? The fire crystal has sharp edges and the surface flame inscriptions are constantly surging. Holding it in his hand, he can feel a slight warmth, and Xiao Mo feels the extremely rich and pure power of the fire element from it. Such a pure power of the fire element eliminates the step of filtering out the power of other elements during one's own cultivation process. If these 2 fire crystals are absorbed and fused, one will definitely improve. Feeling the power of the dried-up elements around him, Xiao Mo chose to leave directly. Seeing the hazy night sky appear, the top priority was to find a safe place to spend the night. After careful consideration, Xiao Mo still decided to return to the towering ancient wood. According to the law of jungle survival, the danger on the ground at night is much greater than on trees, so he should try to keep himself as far away from the ground as possible. On the thick trunk of the tree, Xiao Mo set up some simple defense warning traps, and the sky gradually darkened. Xiao Mo had a conjecture in his heart that he had tried before and could not cultivate at night, but now he had a pendant condensed into a fire crystal in his hand. If he could use this to cultivate, it would be equivalent to half the cultivation time compared to others. If he were outside, it might not have a significant impact, but in the secret realm space, every minute seems so precious. Huijing floated in front of Xiao Mo, holding his breath and calming his mind. His blood-red fighting spirit enveloped Huijing, and as time passed, Xiao Mo's breathing became somewhat rapid. What's going on? There's always a feeling that's almost there. Motivating Duki to refine and absorb it, no matter how hard one tries, the appearance of Huijing is extremely strong and cannot be refined at all. Isn't this the principle of putting tempting food in front of beggars and not letting them eat it? Xiao Mo looked at the fire crystal, which had been enveloped in fighting spirit without any change, and felt anxious like ants on a hot pot. He reached out and groped around his chest, and Xiao Mo took out the red rope pendant. You little thing, since you want to help me cultivate, then do good deeds to the end. What do you mean by giving me 2 fire crystals that cannot be refined? Xiao Mo couldn't help but feel unbelievable. He was complaining to a dead object and felt a bit foolish. When he wanted to retract the pendant, it seemed to hear Xiao Mo's complaint and emit a flickering light. Before Xiao Mo could be surprised, he only saw a beam of light flash past his eyes, shining on the fire crystal wrapped in fighting spirit. Click. A faint shattering sound sounded, and the pure power of the fire element contained in the fire crystal instantly leaked out. Xiao Mo quickly hung the red rope pendant back to his neck and sat down to absorb the leaked power of the fire element. The power of the fire element purified and condensed by the pendant enters the body, without the need for Xiao Mo to refine it, directly transforming into a Duki cyclone. This fire crystal is indeed a good thing, so that I can hunt down exotic beasts as much as possible during the day and search for places with strong elemental power. In addition to his cultivation, Xiao Mo has already made plans for the future. On the third day of time, overnight, Xiao Mo completely refined and absorbed the 2 fire crystals, and his strength improved by 2 stars. If converted based on this, a fire crystal is equivalent to being able to level up by 1 star, then oneself. Imagination is beautiful, reality is cruel. As the number of absorbed fire crystals increases, one's cultivation level is rapidly promoted. However, the higher the cultivation level, the more fighting spirit is required for upgrading. At the beginning, 1 fire crystal can increase by 1 star, but later on, 1.5, 2, or even more are needed. On the 6th day, Xiao Mo had already reached the level of a 7-star fighter. In the past, he had hunted over 100 exotic beasts, and yesterday he even hunted a monster equivalent to a 3rd-level monster. If others were to know that he had such an abnormal improvement speed, he would definitely be attracted to unnecessary trouble. Xiao Mo was well aware of the principle of blaming others for their sins. Before possessing the power to protect himself, he should try to reduce his sense of existence as much as possible. Therefore, in the remaining 2 days, Xiao Mo planned to take no further action and instead seek out places with stronger elemental power. Before leaving the secret realm, he should gather more fire crystals. After all, places as good as the secret realm are rare. There are fluctuations in battle ahead. As Xiao Mo was groping his way through the dense forest, he suddenly felt a battle wave ahead. How could this aura be so familiar? Xiao Mo stayed on a tree canopy, hiding his figure and unleashing his immense spiritual power to explore the situation of the battle ahead. It's really Xiao Jingbai. Xiao Mo discovered that Xiao Jingbai was fighting 2 exotic beasts with strength equivalent to 3rd-level warcraft. If he were to deal with these 2 exotic beasts outside, it might only be a matter of an instant. However, due to the suppression of taboos, Xiao Mo felt a bit embarrassed watching his figure. Is Xiao Fengyi also here? Xiao Mo, who originally wanted to sit and watch the show, found Xiao Fengyi's figure also appearing next to him. Junior sister, don't be afraid. Senior brother will definitely protect you. Xiao Jingbai held a black bamboo and jade fan and stood in front of Xiao Fengyi. 2 exotic beasts were watching with fierce eyes fixed on Xiao Jingbai, who could pose a threat to them. Chapter 9. True Chapter in Adversity. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 10. Maple Fire Melting Heart Tree. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Who are we? Speaking it out scared you to death. The 3 of them were about to introduce themselves, but were suddenly interrupted by Xiao Mo. Stop. I don't care who you are. Since you are here, your purpose must be the same as mine, then we are competitors. But now there is Fenggang's protection here, which cannot be broken by one person's power. Perhaps we can work together. The 3 of them looked at Xiao Mo like fools, and one of them sneered. Of course we know. What do you think our trio is here for? I advise you to be honest, kid. If your performance satisfies us, maybe you'll even be rewarded with a sip of soup. The meaning of listening to you is that you have completely taken me down. I must obey your command now. Is that so? The 3 of them simultaneously emitted malicious laughter. Xiao Mo also burst into laughter. Since that's the case, I'm not polite. The 3 of them felt the smell of danger and quickly set up their defense formation. Kid, you'd better see the situation clearly. The 3 of us, do you still want to fight against each other? Xiao Mo remained silent, and his blood-red fighting spirit slowly emerged, gathering in his palm. The wind gang guarding the valley behind him seemed to be being pulled, causing Xiao Mo's clothes to make a hunting sound. Without a mouthful, a red flowing shadow flashed past, and the 3 of them were in a daze before their eyes. One of them reacted the most quickly, and the green fighting spirit collided directly with Xiao Mo. At the moment of collision, the person had some remorse. There was a significant difference in strength between the 2 sides. Xiao Mo knew well that he couldn't hold back in the battle, and the punch he threw was basically his own strength. The three of them collided and flew backwards. This is a hard nut to crack. Who the hell is this kid? Why didn't he have much impression in the clan before? The three of them were dizzy and stood up with each other's support. Xiao Mo exerted his strength under his feet and was about to continue the attack, but they found out that it was not their opponent and quickly begged for mercy. We are willing to cooperate. Why did you go early? You insist on using force to solve the problem. Upon hearing this, Xiao Mo withdrew his fighting spirit and looked at the other three with an indifferent expression, feeling speechless. Since you have agreed to cooperate, then follow my plan and I guarantee that you will all benefit from it once you enter. In order to stabilize the morale of the army, Xiao Mo confidently assured the three of them before the plan began. The three of them exchanged glances and chose to temporarily trust each other. Everything is ready, 4 people stand in a row, with 3 people in front and Xiao Mo walking last. Originally, the three of them did not agree, but due to military suppression, they could only accept it. My plan is very simple. The 4 of us stand in a row, with the leader resisting the majority of the wind and strong winds. We save our fighting spirit and resist a small portion until the front person can't hold on, and then switch. Such a cycle is sure to safely enter the valley. Let's not delay, let's go. With a command, the 4 of them released their fighting spirit one after another, stepped into the range of Fengyi, and indeed received strong attacks from Fengyi. However, due to the sharing of the damage among the others, the damage received was reduced to the lowest level. Halfway through, the person at the front couldn't hold on anymore. The second person quickly made up, and Fengyi seemed to be alive. In the moment of exchange, the attack became even more fierce. The 4 of them were also forced to retreat a few meters before stopping. After completing the exchange, they continued to move forward. Even if the second person reached the limit, they were unwilling to let the third person replace them, which aroused Xiao Mo's vigilance. Finally coming in. Suddenly, I felt my body light and as if I was in an ocean of elements. When everyone saw the scenery in front of them, they were also surprised and froze in place. Since you have already come in, then you are of no use. The 3 of them were immersed in the ocean of elements, with various enviable precious medicinal herbs growing in the valley. They didn't even notice Xiao Mo behind them. Puff. The person who had exhausted their fighting spirit collapsed silently, without breathing. The third person was extremely vigilant and looked at Xiao Mo with a panicked expression. You don't trust me. Unexpectedly brutally killing one's fellow race. Xiao Mo remained speechless, his strong fighting spirit completely erupted, and the power of the surrounding fire element gathered. Just in an instant, it flashed faster than outside the valley, and the third person widened their eyes in disbelief before finally collapsing unwillingly. I'm cruel. What kind of medicine are you selling in your gourd? I'm not sure yet. Everyone is the same person, so don't say who's good or bad. Xiao Mo searched and looted the belongings on the 3 of them, burying their bodies on the spot. After everything was done, he officially began exploring the valley. Wow, jade bone orchid. Snow grass. Dragon blood vine. Just passing through the outskirts of the valley, Xiao Mo discovered many precious medicinal herbs that were rare in the outside world. Dig it out, dig it out, dig it all out. At this time, Xiao Mo was like a locust. There was no grass left in the land he passed. Even the shining stones on the ground were dug up with a shovel. The deeper he went, the more precious the medicinal herbs he encountered. Before long, Xiao Mo walked to the center of the valley. Strange, why is the valley so quiet? There is no poisonous miasma or strong beasts guarding it. I feel a bit embarrassed taking so many things myself. Looking up, a fiery red tree appeared in the field of vision, and Xiao Mo immediately took a liking to it. The tree was not tall, about 3 meters long, with a shiny black trunk that seemed to have a metallic feel. The leaves were in the shape of maple leaves, red and dazzling.